Hi friends, welcome back to Cubicle Talks with Avik. Today's topic is a very unique topic. Out of my experience and what I've gathered with the information from the industry, I thought I'll make a quick video on this. So the name of the topic for today is 6 toxic recruitment policies you would see. Often we don't get to realize which is toxic and which is non-toxic recruitment policies. So only an experienced person who's into this industry will be able to help you understand or help you identify what are the toxic recruitment trends or traits rather you would find. So number one of the very common toxic recruitment policies are taking multiple इंटरव्यू राउंड्स. आज का ये ट्रेंड है, जितना भी नया मैनेजर्स है ना, what they are doing is their bosses or their managers, they are asking the newly promoted team leaders or managers to take interview of the candidates, and sadly the feedback for this kind of interview will not take it into consideration because they have just been told to take the interview for the benefit of their own, in terms of taking a dummy interview types. So my question is that whoever is doing this is a very wrong practice, because अगर आपको सिखाना ही है in terms of the interview techniques, how to conduct an interview, please do it internally. Don't waste the time of the candidate by taking dummy interviews. And this is going on in big companies, I would say. Big companies, very big organizations, which is having those who are having global presence, they are doing it. I don't want to name them, but just for the sake of making or teaching the newly promoted team leaders or managers how to conduct a good interview, they are doing it. Dummy interview, it is a wastage of both the candidate and the recruiter. Please comment below if you have seen this kind of interviews which is being taken, or have you seen this kind of trends if you have ever given an interview. This is the most common. Number 2, the recruiters will always give preference to the referral candidates. मतलब I don't need to explain you कि referral candidates क्या होता है, but one of the most important criteria of selection is taking interview of candidates who have come from the referral process. मतलब कोई किसी का दोस्त, किसी का colleague, किसी का cousin, किसी को refer किया, and they are given the preference. अगर आपको लगता है कि आपका company और आपका organization they are doing this practice, this is again a toxic practice. This is totally biased interview, I would say, and I would consider this kind of interview as a toxic interview process. No, it's a big red flag. Number 3, age discrimination. What I have seen and what I have gathered information from my other colleagues is some of the recruiters or the hiring managers are making a picture of themselves, or I would say there's a notion that about age. Okay, मतलब मन में ना they will kind of draw a picture of that candidate that अरे यार इसका तो एज ज़्यादा हो गया, ये कैसा परफॉर्म करेगा, ये तो ताऊजी है, ये तो मतलब बुढ़ा है. This is a very toxic process of selecting or screening a candidate, I would say. This is absolutely no. This is absolutely no. But again, ये सब होता है big companies में. All these are happening in the big organizations who's having global presence. Again, I'm saying. So this kind of, if you see that if you're above 35 or 34, 33, and for whatsoever you are giving an interview for a mid-level position, and you have been asked questions about your age कि आपने इतना साल क्या किया, इतना आपका उम्र हो गया, like what I have been doing all these days, why didn't you apply outside, and many other questions. If you feel that your age is getting questioned repeatedly by the interviewer, that means it is a toxic recruitment process, and ऐसी कंपनी में ना जाना ही बेहतर होगा, I would say. Don't go or don't get attached to such organizations, because in the long run, whenever you're 34 plus or 35 plus, they will check you out, because the environment or the management has been working like that. This is again a toxic recruitment and a recruitment policy, I would say. Number 4, gender bias. I've seen this and I've heard this many times, that the recruiter is doing a gender bias. Whether it's a male or female does not matter, but in terms of whenever it comes to a situation or their requirement, they are doing this. Many recruiters, and I'm giving an emphasis to this, that many recruiters are biased towards male. Okay, that ये तो लड़का है, इससे काम करवा लेंगे, लड़की मतलब I will not take any female candidates because I'll not be able to make them work. वो लोग तो छुट्टी पे चले जाएंगे, sick leave मार देंगे, तो how, and especially if the manager is a male one. This is a total gender biased sort of environment, and this is one of the most toxic recruitment policies or process, I would say. Though nobody will kind of discuss this in public, but internally there would be an expectation set by the hiring manager, who gives an instruction to the recruiter that मुझे तो मेल कैंडिडेट चाहिए भाई, मुझे अभी ओवर टाइम करवाना है, मुझे वीकेंड्स को भी बुलाना है, मुझे बहुत कुछ मतलब बहुत हार्ड वर्किंग करवाना है, बहुत उसको एकदम निचोड़ के छोड़ना है, तो मुझे मेल कैंडिडेट्स चाहिए. अगेन द मोस्ट सैडेस्ट पार्ट इज दैट दे ऑफन डिस्कस दैट यार इसका तो शादी हो गया, अभी कल अगर ये फैमिली प्लानिंग हो गया तो कर लिया तो क्या होगा फिर, I cannot afford giving maternity leave to my employees right now because there is an important project going on. So basis on that, there is an age bias which goes on, and it's an open secret, I would say. It's an open secret. Likewise, for male candidates, if you see there is a balance, in a particular team there are females, then the male candidates get rejected, because there's a notion that the male candidate will not be able to adjust himself in that environment, because the team is where the maximum of the team members are females, and the vibe, the mentality will not match. So hence मुझे मेल कैंडिडेट नहीं चाहिए, मुझे तो फीमेल ही चाहिए. So this is the gender biasness for both male and female, and this needs to stop. And this is one of, again, a toxic recruitment trait or a policy which is never spoken publicly. Okay, the next one is very important, is biasness towards a career gap. If a candidate unfortunately has a career gap of 6 months, 7 months, 4 months, a story is being built up by the recruiter or the hiring manager कि ये तो निकम्मा है. Why he was in a career gap, especially in India, ऐसे लोगों को ना बहुत नीचा दिखाया जाता है कि भाई तुम कर क्या रहे थे इतना दिन, तुमने नौकरी नहीं कर रहे थे, तुम क्या कर रहे थे. There can be multiple reasons. Either the family care or personal thing like mental health concerns. Nobody will go into the depth, especially the recruiter, the toxic recruitment policies of the organization of this sort. They will come to a conclusion that career gap है मत लो, उसका CV shortlist मत करो because उसको काम नहीं आता होगा. This is a very I would say a straight no, and this needs to be stopped as soon as possible. Senior leaders and senior managers, if you're seeing my video, this is a very common trait, and of course I'm sure most of you or some of your colleagues or some of you will agree in terms of what I'm speaking. So please look into this. Career gap is not a crime. You have to discuss what was the reason for career gap, and you cannot come into a conclusion before even discussing. Don't, I would say, delist a resume just because he or she has a career gap. You have to discuss this. In India especially, in foreign countries, career gap is not a big concern because people travel, they know how to enjoy their life. They travel globally, they do this and that, they take various projects outside work, and they again want to join back. And this is not at all a crime for foreign countries, the Western countries. Especially in India, this sort of mentality needs to be changed as soon as possible. That career gap is a crime. I have made a particular video on career gap. You can see my playlist and for further details. Okay. Last but not the least is again a very common trait, which is questioning about why you have left the previous organization in terms of अपने why you are looking for a change. बहुत टॉक्सिक ऐसे मैनेजर्स होगा, बहुत टॉक्सिक रिक्रूटर्स होगा जो आपके बात में भरोसा नहीं करेंगे. I have seen recruiters who's questioning in an online forum to candidates that maybe this is not true. What is the reason you are looking for a change? Are you into some kind of trouble in terms of are you not performing well? That's why you're looking for a change. This is not at all right. The recruiters, I would say majority of the recruiters have this attitude of that candidate, अगर मैं किसी का इंटरव्यू ले रहा हूँ मतलब आई एम इन अ सुपीरियर पोजीशन. That's not the case at all. If you're taking an interview, take interview in a streamlined manner, in a standardized way, but don't cross question. Yeah, you need to cross question to the candidates. अगर आपको लगे कि कैंडिडेट झूठ बोल रहा है कि कुछ मैनिपुलेट कर रहा है तो आप क्रॉस क्वेश्चन कर सकते हो. बट एट द फर्स्ट गो, व्हाई यू लुकिंग फॉर अ चेंज, क्या एग्जैक्ट रीजन है. अगर वो कैंडिडेट बताया कि आई एम लुकिंग फॉर अ बेटर अपॉर्चुनिटी, स्टॉप इट. Go with the flow, but don't prick the candidate saying, tell me the exact reason, I am sure this is not the exact reason. All this, if at all the candidate is a defaulter at his present organization, you will get to know during his background checks. Interview के time ये सब पूछने का ज़रूरत है ही नहीं. Don't be a CID whenever an interview comes. And I have seen people are like many senior managers and senior leadership, not senior leadership, I would say, managers especially, the newly appointed, newly promoted managers, they think if they are cross-questioning the candidates, that means they are an awesome interviewer, which is not right. So please change your attitude. Please follow the guidelines of the interview techniques and then go with the interview. Because if you're taking an interview, your name as well as the brand's name is attached in terms of the entire interview process, the entire onboarding process, the pre-onboarding process, everything is, the brand name is there, the brand name is attached. So these were few toxic recruitment policies or traits, I would say, that you would come across, especially in India. And please do comment below if you have come across one, and I'll see you next with a whole new topic video very soon. So till then, take care, goodbye, and happy working.